Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? First of all, you guys are in for a treat. We are hanging out with Kat Mackenzie on today. Guys, this is her debut novel, and it is called Work in Progress. Let me just tell you, it is a good one. It's small town. It's UK. It's found family. There's a bus trip. It's just all the things. Kat does an amazing job with her debut novel, Work
Thank
in
you.
Progress. And of course, guys, you know what to do. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we are hanging out with author Kat Mackenzie on today and her debut novel. In addition to that, guys, of course, grab a seat, grab a warm beverage, and come and enjoy. And of course, guys, we have to allow author Kat Mackenzie to introduce herself. So, Kat, introduce yourself to the people, my friend.
Hi. Well, I'm very excited to be here. This is one of my very first podcasts. Would you consider it a
Yay!
podcast? Good. That's good. I'm on the right track. Um, and I'm originally from Louisiana, but I
Okay.
lived in Britain for about 8 years. And
Okay.
so that's why I wrote a book about the UK. Um,
Wow. Okay. I love that. I love that. Well, we
thank
are so excited for you, Kat. And one of the things
you.
that I want to ask you, because this is your debut novel, and we're gonna definitely talk about it. But for you, if you had to describe your writing or create a tagline, and you may already have one to describe your writing, what would that be?
For the book or for my writing?
For your
Separate.
writing, for you as an
For my
author, what would
writing.
be your
Oh
tagline?
Lord. I've never been asked that question before. I don't know about a tagline. I do know it's very I feel like my writing is very salty and snarky. So I often tell people
Ooh.
to buckle up for a salty snark fest when they
Oh,
tell me
I
that they
like that.
receive my book. So
Okay,
I feel like the banter in Work in Progress is really kind of sharp tongued, I'd say.
oh
So
yes. Oh yes, it is. And guys, if I didn't tell you, it's a rom-com. So not only did she give us small town, not only do we get a little bit of the UK, not only do we get the family found family on this bus trip, but you get a rom-com. And y'all know I love a good rom-com as well. Now, Kat, I want to ask you this question too, and I promise you we're going to get into the book, but of course we want to get to know you a little bit. Would
sure.
you say, as an author, that the romance genre found you or you found it?
That's a good question. I used to be a romance reader when I was a young adult, a teen and a young adult, and probably into my mid-20s. And then I sort of got away from it for a time, probably about till my mid-30s. And then I was going through a big life change that
Okay.
wasn't a very happy one, and I needed a pick-me-up. And the first thing I did was reach for rom-coms, and I love them so much. They're hopeful and they're full of, I don't know, life and joy and the promise of an HEA. And I never turned back. So
I love that. I love that, my friend. Now, we're going to talk about the book a little bit, and I'm super duper excited. And again,
thank you.
congratulations, my friend, on your
Thank
debut
you so
novel.
much.
Okay, so Kat, if you don't know anything about me, I'm a cover girl. I love a good cover. Okay, tell us about this cover and what was it like for you when you saw your final cover for Work in Progress?
Oh, it was really exciting. I kept opening it and looking again and and then going back to my work and then opening it and looking at it again like I was, a bit smitten. Um this cover had a few different variations. And so at first they were just both in jeans, and there isn't a scene where Robbie's in a kilt.
Right,
When there is one, but not while they're hiking
right,
out in
right.
the mountains. So,
Uh-huh.
but we wanted to make it look a little bit more British and Scottish in particular. So we added the kilt and we added the castle, so that hopefully when you're just in the bookstore perusing the covers, you
Yeah.
know already that this is probably in Scotland. And we've got the bus in the background, which I
Yes,
absolutely adore.
yes. I will say this: the attention is in the details in this cover. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. And I love the colors. I think maybe even my favorite part is just the way that the sun and the shadows play on the hills in the
Yeah.
background. I love that. It's my
I
favorite.
love it. I love it. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Kat Mackenzie and we're celebrating, guys, with her. This is her debut novel, Work in Progress. And guess what, guys? It's a rom-com. Y'all know we love rom-coms here at the cafe. Now, Kat, I want to ask you this, and you can kind of spill a little bit of tea for us. So
Oh.
the title is Work in Progress. Okay, are you
Mhm.
ready, Kat? Was this your original working title, my friend, or did this title come along? Spill the tea.
Not at all. My original working title was A Rough Wooing, which is
Oh,
a historical term in the UK that it's about the kind of long-term difficulties between the English and the Scottish. But I love the title of Rough Wooing because that's kind of what we have in an Enemies to Lovers, right? But my Avon was a little worried that it skewed kind of historical. So we
okay.
went back and forth, and I sent them lots of ideas, including one that I really like, which was called the Great British Shake Off instead of
Yeah.
Bake Off, which I kind of like because she's shaking off, kind of all the bad things that have been happening. And but we kind of workshopped some different titles and we wanted something bookish. And I know, you know, for writers, we often call our whatever we're working on, our manuscript at the moment, our work in progress or
Yeah.
WIP. And because this is a book about books, I kind of got into playing around with some bookish titles, and
Uh-huh.
that's how we ended up with this one.
I love
And of
that. And
course,
look,
because
and
Alice is
we
also a
love
work in
bookish here.
progress.
We love bookish things here as well. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're having a great time hanging out with Kat Mackenzie. And guys, this is not just an ordinary new release exclusive. This is her debut novel. And of course, guys, we will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of A Work in Progress. And guess what, guys? For those of you who love books in all formats, it is available in all three formats: ebook, audiobook, and print as well. Now, Kat, let's talk about these characters and get a little bit more into the book. Now, one thing
Mhm.
about Alice loves a list. Okay, she loves a
Yes.
list. So, can
Yeah.
you share with us what was that like for you as the author, creating these lists for her, basically knowing her personality, all this stuff? What was that
Mhm.
like for you?
Well, I love the list because, well, I myself, I'm not a type A personality at all. And I try to be somewhat organized, but it usually doesn't work out for me. But so I'm not quite like Alice in that way, but I do love lists. It's one of the only ways I can kind of make order of the big mess that I have going on up in there. So
Uh-huh.
I'm a good list maker. And I started out, that was just kind of something that I started out that was happening very occasionally in the book. But then it began to get more fun as I went on with it and it was a nice place to sort of shoehorn in extra jokes, just like the Bridget
Oh,
Jones tally. It's such an easy way to just have some, throw in some quick jokes that we don't have to necessarily follow through with. And yeah, and when I sold the book, it was one of my editor's favorite things about the book was the list. So we kind of threw in a few extra lists and bumped it up. And yeah, I think they're really fun. And I love the way they headed the chapters. So I don't know if the viewers can see, but at the top of the chapters there, I don't know, the lighting's kind of bad, but there's like a little notebook slip with a list on there, and it's really sweet.
and isn't
Um,
that super cool?
I think it's really fun. Oh.
Now, okay, this is one of the things that I want to talk about, guys, and this is kind of in the description. When they send out like the arcs, and thank you so much, Kat. Thank you, HarperCollins, for sending me an ARC copy. This book, but one of the things that they said that this hilarious and heartwarming enemies to lovers rom-com takes place on a literary bus tour adventure across the UK. again, guys, how super cool is that? Okay, so Kat, you got to spill some tea, my friend. What inspired this? And tell us a little bit about what that was like for you as the writer to kind of create that vibe of them taking this bus tour. Okay.
It was wonderful. It's I love the UK, and this is kind of like a love letter to the UK for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went over I guess I was either 19 or 20. I went over just for 1 year and I stayed for 5, and then I came home, and then I went back again for another few years, and I kind of go back and forth often. Sometimes for half of the year I'm over
Yeah.
there. So so I it's a place that I love and I call home, and I traveled a lot while I was there as well because I love to travel, and nothing's better than a road trip. And so as I mentioned before, I was kind of when I started writing um actually when I started writing any novel at all, I was probably in my mid 30s, and I was going through a difficult life transition, not unlike Alice's, frankly. And so I started writing like kind of a dark, moody, historical, magical realism book.
Okay.
And it needed a lot of research. I wanted it all to be historically accurate, and it was about an anthropologist, and I wanted that all to be accurate as well. And so it was a lot of work. And somewhere in the process, not that far in, I decided I needed a break, and I wanted something that made me feel happy. And I was missing the UK. I was kind of pining for the UK at the time. And I didn't have a lot of romance in my life at the time, and I missed that, all those swoony feelings. And I thought, I'm gonna write a rom-com so that I can feel all those things along with my characters. And I kind of kitchen sink threw in all of my favorite things and ended up with, a bus tour in the UK about books, which is basically a
Wow.
traveling book club. So yeah, it just kind
How
of all
super cool
fell
is
together.
that? Well, thank you so much for sharing that behind the scene about this bus trip, or what have you too. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're hanging out with Kat Mackenzie. And guys, we are so excited for her. This is her debut novel. It is called Work in Progress. And guys, it is a rom-com. And Kat, I think Tiffany from Tiff's Happy Place, she's so here for the enemies to lovers. That's one of her favorite tropes. And some
Good.
of the other tropes that we named as well, because we are so here for small town, all that good stuff as well too. So thank
Oh,
you
thank you.
for that. We have Midnight Ace Book Bar hanging out with us on today as well. Hey, Midnight, thank you for joining us. And so, okay, you got to tell us a
So
little bit
fun.
about some of these characters. And of course, let's start with Alice, guys. She is the main
Okay.
heroine in this particular book. But if you had to describe Alice's character in 5
Mhm.
words or more, so if you need more, what would you tell us about Alice's character?
Um, let's see. Oh, in 5 words or more. That's quite a challenge. I might just talk instead because it's
Look, Kat,
I'm
you
not
gotta add snarky in there.
I she's
Like, we're
definitely
gonna
snarky. She's definitely snarky. She's a very snarky lady. She's anxious.
Yeah,
She's a life planner, so she's really planned out her entire life. And the
yeah,
moment anything differs from that plan, she is she's worried about it. She's trying to fix it. She wants to get back on track. So she's a planner. She's snarky. She's got a playful streak that we definitely see in her banter with Robbie, and the way that their relationship develops is very antagonistic. It's very
yes,
playful. Uh, so so she has a playful streak that I think she kind of keeps under wraps most of the time, but Robbie really brings out in her. So what we've got 2 words left. She's soft-hearted, so
yeah,
she's kind of soft inside but hard outside. I think the outside's a bit sharper,
yeah,
but
yeah,
inside she has some mushy innards, right? She's soft and warm on the inside. And she's protective. She's often looking out for the ladies on the tour, and she
yes.
really kind of forms, a lot of found family bonds with them. So yeah, I think those are my 5 words for
I
Alice.
love that. I love that. Look, And speaking of Robbie, you know we have to talk about him. Okay, guys, you have this hot Scottish tour guide that literally makes her blood boil. Okay, he gets under Alice's skin. But what can you tell us about him?
Well, I don't know. I think he might be my dream man. That's probably
Oh,
how I
okay,
constructed him.
okay,
He just he's the calm counterpoint, I think, to Alice's. um she's more high strung than he is, so she gets
yeah,
easily
definitely.
upset and riled up, and he loves to rile her up and kind of watch what happens. um but he's always pretty calm, so she can say all sorts of terrible things to him, and she does, and he just, he kind of takes it on the chin, and he thinks the whole thing is hilarious. And I think that's quite common in Britain. They refer to it as taking the piss or taking the mickey, and they just really kind of rib all of their friends and give everybody a hard time and tease them in a very playful way.
Yeah, yeah,
And so Robbie's that way as well. But he's very protective as well. He's very protective of all of the ladies on the tour.
yes.
Most They're all sort of older ladies in
Older
their golden
ladies,
years. So
and that makes it even more fun, okay? And speaking of the older ladies, okay, Kat, I'm gonna need you to spill a little bit of tea. What was that like for you creating their characters? Were you inspired by other individuals? How did you come up with these ladies on this bus?
it was wonderful. They were just so much fun to construct. And I guess I just started picturing the actresses that they might be, who would play these roles. And Maggie
Wow.
Smith, rest in peace, was was Agatha. And she's so salty. And then I kind of thought, Helen Mirren would be Helena. She's very elegant and well spoken. And so I just kind of started out there. And they, at first, when I first started writing the novel, they were more comic relief. And
Okay.
they're so easy. It's so easy to make great jokes from them. But then, of course, as the story goes on, we learn more and more about them, and their
Yeah.
characters come to life, hopefully, and have a lot to teach Alice. And so, yeah, they were great fun, because I think one of the best things about older people is they care less about what what people think. They have gotten to the point in their life where they don't care anymore about what people think about them, and that's a
Like, yeah, it's
beautiful
like
thing.
no filter.
Yes. So they say all kinds of stuff, and tell some fabulous stories, which I
Yes.
really enjoyed writing. And yeah, I think they were a great comic relief, but actually they supply a lot of the heart, I think, of the
Yeah,
novel.
yeah.
So
I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about these characters
mhm.
as well. And I want to ask you this question. And so I want you to think about the characters of this book, Work in Progress. And it's a two-part question, Kat. Um, is there a character in Work in Progress that was interesting for you to write, borderline fun? But on the flip side, is there also a character that was a little more complex for you to write? So, kind of a two-part question there for you.
Yeah. I think the easiest was probably Flossie,
Okay.
because she is one of the older ladies. So for anyone who hasn't read the novel yet, it's about a younger woman who's about to turn 30, who is on a 3-week bus tour and flies
Three
across
weeks,
to
guys.
Britain expecting to meet a lot of other younger world travelers, and
Right.
finding a bus full of ladies who were somewhere between 60 and 98. So
Yes.
so it's not quite what she'd expected.
Right.
And she's very upset about this at the beginning, and grows to love them, of course. But so one of the ladies, called Flossie, she's someone who sort of, she dips in and out of, she has some foggy moments, right? Just we all can have foggy moments, but also she's sometimes there and she's sometimes not. So she was a great character to write because again, I didn't have to she could make any joke without warning and say any outrageous
Right.
thing just completely randomly, and
Yeah.
I just loved that. It was a thrill. I could write anything I wanted. So I really loved that. She was the easiest one to write. And then Alice was the hardest. Alice I think is because she's such an orderly, organized person who is
Yeah.
very ambitious and is very type A, I found it a bit difficult to also make her playful. I
Oh,
felt like those
wow.
two things were kind of competing in a way, and they didn't always fit together, and I had to kind of work at it because I love the playful banter between them, and
Yeah.
at first I kept thinking like this doesn't really fit her character, so I kind of, you know, changed and molded her a little bit, and that's how, that's how she came to be. But it was a little harder. She wasn't
Wow.
meant to
Wow.
be. I think originally she wasn't meant to be quite so playful and quite so snarky, but it just sort of happened, and then
Yeah.
I had to make it had to make it work.
Wow. Thank you again. You are spilling the tea, Kat. Thank you so much, guys. If you're just joining us, we are hanging out with Kat Mackenzie on today, guys. And not only are we hanging out with her for a new release exclusive, this is her debut novel, guys. It is called Work in Progress. Bonus that it is a rom-com in small town. There is this bus trip. There is this hot Scottish tour guide. There's these old ladies that are a hoot and that bring so much to the story as well. And Kat, I want to let you know, Letitia says this story sounds like a riot. Older people give the best life lessons and advice.
It's so
And
true,
she
don't
also
they?
says she can't wait to get it. Well, LaShawn says
Oh,
she can't wait
thank
to get it,
you.
but she also agrees. What she said so true for she was responding to Letitia's comment as well, and she
Mhm.
also said that she can't wait to get it. So again, guys, if you're just joining us, we are just super excited to hang out with her and talk about Work in Progress. Now, I know you guys are ready, and it is time. Kat is going to share with us just a little snippet, guys, of a Work in Progress. And so, Kat, during this segment, I'm going to allow you to kind of set the stage for us. If you want to kind of
Okay.
tell us a little bit about what you're getting ready to read, and then we are ready for you to start when you are.
Okay. And feel free to cut me off because I haven't really practiced. I'm worried it's going to be too
Okay,
long. But
no problem.
I'm going to start. There are a couple of times in my book where I have what I call like a macro lens moment where we really
Okay.
zoom in to the moment and I just go crazy with the details. And I think, at least for me writing, it was a lot of fun. So in chapter 7, Alice is newly in the UK and this is her first night there. And
Yeah.
she's really having some culture shock. And these are things that I write so passionately about because I have lived it and, and it was such a struggle for me. So she's had a really long, hellacious day. Like it's basically she hasn't slept for 2 days of flying and her luggage has been, lost and crushed and broken and everything is just horrible.
Uh-huh.
And she finally gets to her hotel room and all she wants is a hot shower. So that's where we are.
Yes.
Okay. So chapter 7, lesson 7. There are many things that romanticized British dramas hide from you, like the shocking stupidity of British bathrooms. And then the little tally is the Bridget Jones tally. Lights, 0. Hot water, 0. Fucks to give, about 1 million. That night, I waged war with my ensuite bathroom. I had longed for nothing so much as the hot shower to wash away the day of grime and festering indignities from my sagging bones. Half comatose, I fumbled for the light switch on the wall inside of this, the blackest of all soulless abysms. Left side, nothing. Right side, Zippo. So I checked the wall outside of the door jamb. Nothing but an empty stretch of switchless wasteland. I checked inside a second time, but found nothing. Then something tapped my face and flew away. In the dark of this old place, it could have been anything. Fly, roach, restless spirit, feather held aloft by some pantless pervert. I felt my face and found nothing had landed there. Then it tapped again. I flailed my arms in front of me and connected with the string. I grabbed it and fondled the end, which was capped with a little plastic Hershey's Kiss. Was it a trap? I tugged experimentally. Suddenly, there was light, and I sighed with relief when I found no Lowlands Norman Bates waiting there. Hurriedly, I peeled away the layers of garments sticking to my unwashed skin and hopped into the shower. There didn't seem to be any knob to pull or twist, but rather a white plastic box high in the wall, sporting a number of dormant buttons and dormant lights, and a white plastic shower head attached to a long ropey umbilical cord. I pressed what looked like it might be an on button. The coldest water piped directly over 4,500 miles from the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas, spat and dribbled incontinently onto my nakedness. So I'm shall I keep going? Or I feel like maybe I don't want to
read a little bit more. Look, go ahead. Look, give them just a little bit more.
Okay, let me skip a little. It's only a couple of pages, but this whole chapter is just about this hideous bathroom experience. So the water doesn't work. It's freezing cold. So she says, if I positioned my body under that, it was sure to be the last thing I ever did. I turned it off, cried a little bit, and then used one of the free individually wrapped wet wipes I had gotten from the airplane. I scrubbed at my most odoriferous areas in receding order of cleanliness, folding the rectangle over and over until it was a postage stamp, clutched between two pincer-like fingers with which I dabbed at my nethers. And then so I'll leave it there, but so the problem that happens next is that there's separate taps, and this is the worst possible thing, and it exists in the UK for reasons no one understands. In the bathrooms there's the hot tap and the cold tap, but they don't run together. So, but the hot is like the boil your skin off hot, and the cold burns with frostbite, and there's nothing you can do. So you can kind of fill up the sink and splash your face, but that seems dirty, or you can just kind of move your hands. None of it makes any sense. It's 2025. Fix your taps, please, Britain. So that's what chapter 7 is about. And it does not. Chapter 7 doesn't have a happy ending. She goes to bed with wet hair in the dark. So it wasn't good for her.
As you can see, Kat just shared with us just a snippet of chapter 7. If you want to know how chapter 7 ends, definitely get you a copy of Work in Progress, and we'll be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of Work in Progress, guys. And of course, it's available in audiobook, ebook, and print as well. Oh my goodness, look, they are enjoying what you have shared with us. Antoinette Gates, she's like laugh out loud. She's hilarious. Let's see, they gave you some love. Author Sharon Blunt said she loved your reading voice. It's beautiful as well.
Thank you.
Great snippet. So thank you so much. Now, Kat, our next segment, my friend, we have to play a round of this or that. And I promise you, there is no right or wrong answer. It is all things according to you, my friend. Are you ready? And this or that is kind of, it's a little bit of New Year's versus a little bit of winter wonderland. It's a little bit of everything in this or that. But are you ready, my friend?
No, but here we go.
But here we go. Like I said, no, I'm not ready. I promise you, you'll have fun. Okay, so
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
The first thing is it glass half full or glass half empty for Kat?
Oh, for me, it's always half full. I very carefully always try to be positive about anything and everything.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for a long time, so it's habit now. Okay. I try to look on the bright side.
Is it day one or one day?
Oh, 1 day.
Okay. Okay. Kat, are we going to the mountains or are we going to the beach? I am so sorry, my smoke alarm wants to go off.
It's okay. I was expecting all of my dogs to go crazy at once, but thankfully they're not out.
You're not live, right? You never know.
Yeah.
But hopefully
anything can happen.
Okay. So, Kat, are you going to the mountains or the beach?
The mountains every time. I part of my youth was spent in Florida, which was wonderful, but I got sick of the beach, and I love to be in the cold, and I love to be in the mountains. So
Wow. Okay.
that's why
Now,
Part of why Scotland is so perfect for me.
wow, I love that. Now, speaking of that, okay, Kat, you got to spill the tea, my friend. Is it road trip or airplane ride? Road trip or airplane
Ooh,
ride?
road trip. Every time road trip. I love a road trip. I like to read to each other on a road trip. I love to listen to an audiobook. You've got your
Oh,
playlist going, you've got snacks,
yes,
and you can
all the
stop wherever
things.
you want, have a picnic, and keep going. And of course, if you happen to be trapped with a handsome man in the same vehicle, then what are you to do? And my next book, which is already into Avon, involves a road trip
Spill the
around
tea.
Ireland with a very grumpy farmer. So,
Oh, oh, so Kat, are you spilling
uh-huh.
the tea that we're gonna get a little grumpy sunshine?
Yes, we're definitely gonna get some grumpy sunshine again. But in the next one, it'll be yeah, there's a grumpy farmer, and then there's an American woman who has a dating podcast and travels
Oh,
to Ireland. Ireland has every year a matchmaking festival in the month of September. This is a real thing that I went to investigate myself. So, so
I
this
am
is the
y'all.
resulting book.
I sincerely apologize. So when I'm not talking, I will mute myself. I have no idea why my smoke alarm is going off,
I
but
hope the
it
house
just
isn't on fire. Oh my
right,
goodness.
it just is. So, Kat, I'm going to ask you. A matter of fact, let's do this. Can you read them a little more of your snippet because I do want to check it out to make sure we
Sure.
good. Okay. So
Sure,
hold tight. I'll let you
absolutely.
handle that.
Oh my goodness. Now everyone's stuck with me. Good luck. So I read chapter 7, but it occurred to me that I probably should have read some of the romance bit, and it had zero romance in it. So I'm gonna skip ahead. The next chapter is chapter 8. I'm just gonna read a little bit for you, but so I did mention that Alice's bags are lost and crushed, and she does end up getting them back, but it's just a disaster. And Robbie, who is the tour guide, very kindly offers to loan her his like canvas duffel that he had extra, and so he shuffled everything around, and she says no, because she's contrary, and they hate each other. Obviously, it's enemies to lovers. So, but he does it anyway, which just rankles her because she's a feminist and she's independent. Anyway, so let's see. Let me start here. So at the start of the chapter, he says, "Ahoy," he said with a morning zeal that I found repugnant. "How are you feeling, Alice Cooper? Did you manage to get some kip last night?" "I did. You'll find I'm not as easy to rile up today." "Ah, don't spoil the fun." His tone seemed to be good-natured, but I knew it for what it was, a threat. He would try extra hard. "Here, try this." He held out a black canvas duffel bag as the corner of his mouth ticked up. "It won't withstand direct cannon fire, but it's also significantly less likely to inflict spinal damage." It was nice and helpful. I knew it was. And yet his smug tone rankled me. I had always thought of myself as a mature sort of person, an adult, surely. But somehow, in front of this man and his stupid smirk, I was no more self-possessed than Veruca Salt on a tour of the chocolate factory. "I don't want this. It smells like—" I stuck my face near the open zipper and breathed in. Heaven, cedar, the inside of Jamie Fraser's shirt collar, like feet and smug sanctimony. I held it out to him, but he made no move to take it back. In truth, I didn't want to give it back. What I wanted was to take it to my room and zip my whole head inside of it. Well, that's unfortunate. So that's my little. Is everything under control?
Everything's under control, so
It's
it's kind of like going off, but there's no. I did check everything to make sure that I'm safe or what have you. So I apologize about that. This has never happened.
it's
But
part of the
anyway,
fun. We're
we can
having
go
an
live.
adventure.
But like I said, I will. Whenever I ask you a question, I'll go mute. Of course,
Okay.
guys, time goes by so fast. We have had a great time hanging out with Kat Mackenzie on today. Please share with them how can they get their hands on a copy of Work in Progress.
Well, this is published by Avon HarperCollins, and so you can get it on, where you buy any of your books. So hopefully your local bookshop, independent bookstore is always choice number one, but there's bookshop.org, obviously Amazon, and directly through HarperCollins. Basically anywhere you buy your books, hopefully it'll be there.
I love that, and please know they are giving you love for the second snippet that you read as well. And of course, please share with us, Kat. How can we stay connected with you?
Well, I am an Instagram newbie, like complete newbie. I really dragged my feet on this. I did not want to start Instagram. I feel like it's too much. I'm not a technology girl. I'm not really a social media girl, but I started a couple of months ago and I've fallen completely head over heels. I met so many people that, all my new bookish friends are there. I met a ton of new authors, debut authors like me that I can share my experiences with, or also authors that are not debut and have several works out and can offer advice and guidance, and so many readers and bookstagrammers, and it has just been phenomenal. I've had so many wonderful conversations since I started, and so I have a new account and I'm trying to build some followers and I'm making my little posts and and my whole page is messy, but it's really fun. And I just cannot believe how many people are reaching out and saying wonderful things or asking me questions or talking about writing. So, please, I answer everybody. Absolutely feel free to say hello, to say that you saw me here, or to ask me any questions about my book or about writing or about travel. I love it all. Yeah, absolutely. Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, Cat Mackenzie author or something. I'll give you I'll give you all of my handles. But those are really the two places to really interact with me one-on-one.
I love that. And Kat, is there a website as well that they can connect with you on?
There is a website, and it is brand new, and I already don't update it. So, but it does exist, and also it exists. It has links on there. You can find the book through there if you want. And I also on my Instagram I have a link tree, because I'm very high tech now, and that link tree can guide you to wherever you need, basically, and all of the book links from there.
I love that. And thank you so much, Kat. We'll make sure that we put the links in the comment section of how they can stay connected with you. And of course, we'll put links of how they can get a copy of
Okay.
Work in Progress as
Great.
well. Well, Kat, it's been amazing hanging out with you on today, my friend. But
That's
I
so
want
much
to allow
fun.
you the last words of what you want to say to the people.
Oh my goodness. Please make sure that you have a fire alarm and that all the batteries are checked and you don't burn your house down, that it goes for everyone, me included. Safety first. um, no, this was great fun. And I hope next time I'm gonna bring an actual drink. This water was a poor life choice for me, but I had a great time. Next time we'll do cocktails, or some bubbly. But thank you all so much for coming, and I hope that if you do read this, that it fills you with joy and some butterflies and a little bit of swoon, and maybe encourages you to travel, because that's my favorite thing in the world. It opens new horizons. So thank you
And
so
Kat,
much.
I almost forgot the little fire alarm or whatever. So, guys, there is a giveaway. It's a copy of Work
Oh,
in Progress. I'm going to get Kat to help me. I'm going to go up and down the comment section. She's going to tell me when to stop, and that person will be the winner. Kat, are you ready?
oh my goodness. So I just randomly tell you to stop, or okay. All right. What do I do? Like now? Are you doing something? I don't-
I'm scrolling through the comment section, and
oh,
then when you tell me
okay.
to
All
stop,
right.
yep.
Okay. And stop. Tiff's Happy Place. Oh, that's exciting. You're the one that
Tips
really
Happy
likes
Place. It looks
enemies
like
to
you are
lovers?
the winner, my friend. And if you will inbox me your information, I will get that to the individuals that will get you a copy of Work in Progress as well. Guys, it's
How
been amazing
exciting.
hanging out with you on today. I am so sorry about this fire alarm that is going
I
off
think it's
as
wonderful.
well.
It's part of
But of
that.
course,
This whole book is about having mishaps that you did not
yes.
expect. It's the perfect thing to happen for this interview.
Exactly, exactly. I love that. I love that. Of course, guys, make sure that you get a copy of Work in Progress. Once you read it, definitely leave a review. I know that Kat Mackenzie will be so appreciative of that as well.
Really would.
Stay connected with her. Follow her on Instagram. Go to her website. Check her out over there. She's on Facebook. All of that good stuff
Mhm.
as well. Tell a friend to tell a friend about her debut novel, Work in Progress. Again, Kat, thank you so much for hanging out with me on today.
Thank
And guys,
you.
always say, have an amazing day because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.